Today I'm going to tell y'all about the prevention of child abuse. To persuade my audience that awareness and prevention of child abuse is needed. Child abuse can be hidden quite easily. In order to recognize the signs of child abuse, we must educate people on signs and symptoms of abuse. To do this, we need to get more organizations involved in the recognition of child abuse. We need to increase financial funds to get more organizations started, and we need to offer programs to educate people on the effects of child abuse in hopes they in turn will donate to the funds in order to get these programs started. Most people underestimate the occurrence of child abuse. What people do not know is how easy it is for kids to hide bruises or marks left from being beaten on kids. Abuse can come in various forms such as mental abuse, verbal abuse, and or physical abuse. Everyone has heard at least once or twice in their lifetime the words child abuse. But what has anyone done to try to prevent this from happening? Child abuse can scar a child both mentally and physically. Many organizations have been made and more are being started to educate more people on the signs and effects of child abuse in hopes that more people will spread awareness and try to prevent abuse. With awareness of abuse, hopefully we together can make a difference in a child's life. The prevention and awareness of child abuse can help to protect the child and help make the family stronger. Today I would like to mention a few facts about child abuse and how it can be prevented and how one can contribute to the prevention of child abuse. Child abuse prevention efforts have steadily increased over the past few years. I believe that child abuse should not have to be prevented, or I believe that child abuse should not have to be prevented because it should not happen at all. This devaluing of children often leaves them exposed to indescribable harms that have physical, emotional, and spiritual consequences. As stated by Wes Stafford, who is president of an organization called Compassion International, small, weak, helpless, innocent, vulnerable, and trusting, they are awaiting victims for our simple neglect and most evil abuse. No matter what goes wrong, the little ones always pay the greatest price. There are many different organizations that are funded by the general population. One of these organizations is named Prevent Child Abuse America. Some prevention measures are funds that are collected to go towards children to help make their environment and the way they live their life safer. These organizations and funds help people pay for foster care, raise awareness about child abuse, and helps people get more educated on the public ways to prevent child abuse from happening. Just a few statistics to confirm the gruesome number of child abuse victims. According to American Society for the Positive Care of Children, almost 1,600 children die unnecessarily from child abuse and neglect each year. Of these children that are abused, 70% of the ones that die are under the age of 3. This number does not accurately prove the actual number of children that are abused because child abuse is something that has to be reported in order to keep an accurate count. But not everyone reports child abuse. This paints a gruesome picture when thinking about all the children that are abused and are not able to be helped because not everyone reports this awful crime. The victims of this awful crime are oftentimes scarred for the rest of their lives. A large number of abusive parents were abused as children and continue the cycle once they grow up and have kids of their own. Prisons today are filled with inmates who say they were abused as children, and they eventually become violent and abusive later in life. Lack of proper child rearing skills is another reason why some parents abuse their children. Alright, and I'm going to show you all the visual aid right here. You can get a video shot of it. Hopefully it's this one right here. This is a guy, our kid who got beat. This is why we need your help to start raising more money to help fund programs and organizations that help educate families on effective ways to cope with children that may be troublesome or ways to effectively handle family conflict. These organizations could help raise awareness about child abuse, and funds could be used to help prevent child abuse from happening. The funds go toward foster homes that our abused children could live in, or even to hire people to find adoptive parents that would be suitable parents for these helpless victims. Child abuse affects more children than the reported number reflects. Anytime child abuse is mentioned, a mental picture is painted of a helpless, bruised, and battered child that has been hurt. I hope that this has put into perspective how much we need your help for the funds and organizations to continue to grow and help raise awareness and educate people on the ways they can prevent and report child abuse and its helpless victims. Any kind of help that anyone can offer will be greatly appreciated. So let's all join together and put a stop to child abuse, because there is no excuse for child abuse. That concludes my speech.